First of all, shout out to our fans. I think a night when you put up a school record, or not school record, a record of points since I've been here, it's because our fans. We felt the energy, felt the passion, and that's my first shout out right now is, again, we're going into conference play where I've been here for 4 years. Everybody talks about it. Once you get to conference, this place will come a knocking, and they'll come a rocking, and we're going to need it because this league's going to be a beast. But for my team to come off a 5-day break, 1-day practice, a shoot around, quick turnaround. We've got flu, we got sickness going on, but most importantly, put an effort like that against a good Samford team. I know our fans will be like, yeah, right, but that's the same team that was only down 5 points at half to Alabama, who's in the top 25. A team that was down 14-7 at the end of the first quarter to Florida. They had our respect, and I think you saw a team that came out and showed that respect tonight.
Robbie?
Can you finally say 4 quarters? You got them all in there? Or
Amen. What? That's back-to-back games. I think LaSalle, we did it too. Yeah.
I hadn't had a chance to talk to you.
That's right.
I didn't know where you stood.
Yeah. But no, at home, it was great. 4 quarters. We've talked about that. That's obviously a key in this league. Again, I can't talk about enough about this league. If you look at bracketology and if the tournament started today, I think you've got 5 teams that are going to host if it started today. You're looking at potential 3 teams that could be in the Final Four, several in the Sweet 16, Elite 8, and then a Bulldog team besides Mike Neighbors that said weren't going to be no good. A team that said, you know what, you got the least amount of return experience, and I think you're watching a team come together like no other over the last 4 weeks since we had that serious December 1st practice. And then a team that's not going to forget that everybody said that we're going to be at the bottom of the league, and that's why I'm encouraging our fans that we got to protect home. And we got to have an environment like no other because it's going to be an absolute war, top to bottom. No offense to the ACC, but there's no pits like we played earlier this year. There's no Boston colleges, which those teams are struggling in that league where you play someone like that and you know you're just going to show up and win. Every game's going to matter, and again, I can't emphasize enough the support we're going to need from our fans because they can see the hard work that my young ladies are doing to create an atmosphere to give us a home court advantage against a great Auburn team who should have beat Oregon, all right? They've been battle-tested. They beat California. They're really good. Their defense creates problems, which leads into transition buckets. So if this is going to be a 5-point game, let's try to have another 5-point advantage with our crowd.
Your focus this month has really been on the complete performance and not just the wins. And tonight you get at least 20 points in all 4 quarters. You got 3 players with 20-plus points. You got Favor with a career high, and you've got 4 players with double-doubles.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you feeling about the well-roundedness of the squad and where they're at going into the SEC?
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud. I've got a top to bottom. This is probably the best character group I have. I think it started with the post we posted for their Vol GPA, and I made a tweet about it before Christmas. What you do off on the court and how you live your life, it's funny how winning follows you on the court. And each one of my young ladies are winners. They're taking care of their lives, their academics, and then it's translating into their work ethic here on the court. I think we're 4 points shy of a school record in the 3rd quarter for most points ever in a quarter, which is impressive. And then the one I'm the most excited about is you had 7 turnovers. That should be a Purcell era record that I want you to check because God knows we've had plenty 20 pieces, all right? So for us to have a flow, take care of the ball, rebound it, and then again, a shout out to just everybody stepping up. Trey was sick with the flu. She just flew in late last night. I told her to rest at home. Tally has strep throat. We've got a couple of managers that are sick. Madison was under the weather and fought through it today, which is scary for a double-double and a dunk under the weather. I think if she was healthy, she might have dunked it with 2 hands, all right? And then Favor was also under the weather and put up 30 and 10. It's just, again, a testimony to their work ethic, how hard they're working, and most important, this team coming together.
Coach, you mentioned turnovers. What do you think has kind of helped this team, lower the turnover numbers like that?
Sanai King, right? I'm going to give her a major shout out. 24 minutes. And again, my quote to them before the game was championship players don't count minutes. They make their minutes count. And that's what I'm trying to help this team. In a time and era today in society where all we're talking about, and I love football, but I'm like the Georgia coach. If I read one more kid talking about they're returning or they're going in the portal, he said it perfect. Who's tweeting out right now they're getting better, right? That's what we need to be focused on. And my young women are focused, and like I told them, I got 10 kids who can start, but I only can start 5. So when you get in there, what are you doing with your minutes? Do not get caught up with points. Don't get caught with society. Get caught up with winning. And that's what you saw tonight. Sanaya, I thought was phenomenal. All right, she didn't make a bucket, but again, 4 assists, her tempo, her push, it allows everybody else to do what they can do, and I'm hoping she sees that. And then everybody else is just continuing to get better.
It seems like every year that you've been here, you've talked about, in terms of vision for the program, wanting, that team that has the togetherness, not just in terms of, on the court, but is going to hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Wants to play for each other, wants to win for each other, and it seems like this team really has that. I mean, after every game, they're talking about it like that. Is that something you're seeing? Maybe putting them a cut above some of the other teams you've had, or?
Yeah, 100%. And nothing against the other teams. My other teams were winners. They were 20-win seasons, NCAA appearances, top of the line. And again, I think you got to look at my journey. I came in here, I inherited a lot of those players. And some of that was them just allowing another coach to come in their life. And then for this group, they're just starting with a fresh slate. Nothing of the past. All they know is me. All they know is Mississippi State. So it's a different energy in a way, if that makes sense. And because of that, you also have freshmen who are not normal. Most seniors and juniors have to push the freshmen, carry the weight, but when the freshmen can carry the weight as the seniors, it just makes it for a stronger team, and that's what you're seeing right now.
I asked you earlier this year about the offensive system, the scheme, whatever. It just seemed like there was more flow to it. It seems like that's transforming even more over the last few games. What has really gone into that? Has it been just players playing together? Has it been a philosophical change with you and Fred, or whatever you're doing there? What's kind of been the difference for you offensively, you think?
Multiple things. One, we did change to a different system. We went to a point read and react system where it teaches you great back cuts, teaches you how to play off the defense if they take something away, to go to the second and third option, which allows quicker pace. It makes it harder on the defense just to take away the first option, knowing that we can flow right into our second and third. And then the second thing I keep saying it is our passing bigs. Favor, is as much as we'll write about her 30 and 10, this is, again, another night that she plays 25 minutes, and it has 2 assists and 0 turnovers. So when you can have a big pass like she does and play off of her and rip and drive and score, it makes it easier for everybody else to get after it and do what they do.
Another big game for Jayla. I think she's well over averaging double digits per game now. What have you seen from her over the last few games?
I just think, one, it's our relationship too. I think she sees my vision for her and she trusts me. Again, this is a young lady that I said could be 6th player of the year, all year. Tonight was a night Trey couldn't go, and I told my team Jayla deserves it. Like, she's deserved it all year. Obviously, I'm going to have to figure out what's best for our team in the SEC moving forward. But hopefully she can see the minutes and the opportunity. I think her and Madison are the only 2 freshmen in the SEC that are playing 21 minutes or more, right? So that's a statement, all right? But it's also a statement for her putting up numbers because she deserves it because of her work ethic. Again, she's come in as a state champion. She's challenged herself making the second and third read, not taking bad shots. She's challenged herself to get in the gym. I think, if anything, what's crazy is her free throw numbers right now. This is a kid that easily could be shooting 80%, and it drives her nuts, and she's working hard on it right now. But you look at the rest of her game, she's close to a positive assist-to-turnover ratio, which I'm very happy as a freshman. But the young lady's flat out shooting the ball, and then I keep saying it, I think she's one of the best offensive rebounders in the country. And then here in the SEC, I've really got to challenge her to be one of the best defensive rebounding guards if we're going to make a run.
Coach, what have you seen just in this non-conference slate, and then what are you looking forward to about SEC play?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, you look at our one loss on the year, all right? Texas Tech is currently ranked in the top 25. That was a team that we jumped on in the first quarter, 31-15. So that shows us that we're an elite team, but we just got to learn to what we've been working on, putting 4 quarters together. And then the other opponents we play, I know they're not necessarily ranked like a Texas Tech, but what did you do when you played them? How did you play this team compared to everybody else? And again, this is a Samford team that was only down 5 points to Alabama, right? So for us to make a statement and play our way, despite if they're ranked or not, that's what I learned in the non-conference is that I've got a team that is hungry and, again, hasn't forgot what everybody ranked us and told us how bad we would be. We have a chip mentality. We're dogs, and we're going to have to bring it one night, every night and try to have a 1-0 mentality and be the tougher team if we're going to make a run here in the second half.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate you. Happy holidays. Hope everybody had a great Christmas.